Felilum tambemouche. Good day and welcome, friends, to Bramble On, Dimension Q's premier source for intelligent conversation, summation, and illumination of each and every episode of Love Among the Brambles, excluding the first 1,767 seasons to which we do not have access. In our latest episode, number 15918, Sleight of Stature, Sleighter of Hand, the following occurred. Viola warns Citron that Juniper is false, and that she means to sabotage Citron's relationship with Jeffrin. Citron, fresh back from her adventures through time and space after having been pushed into a wormhole by Juniper, tells her sister, fear not. Citron knows all too well about Juniper's falseness, and not only has it done no good in so much as Jeffrin missed Citron while she was away, but Juniper herself fell into the selfsame wormhole and is no more. At least as far as we know. One never really knows when it comes to Love Among the Brambles. Characters do have a tendency to pop back in from time to time. Rent asunder, dead, decapitated, you name it, they still manage to show up. Carter, the Courter, Prince Raffia's cousin, who is Calla Lily's client in her empath work, the one who wished to court her, expressed his interest in such, as we know last week, was told this would not do. Calla Lily said there is a conflict of interests in so much as your family and mine are at perpetual conflict. Your cousin, Prince Raffia, is perpetually trying to ruin our family, the Brambles. Well, Carter, the Courter, serenades Calla Lily in an attempt to woo her, but she rebuffs him. Dahlia and Lena. As we know, these are the women with whom Slate has become embroiled. Dahlia, because he married her when intoxicated in Monte Cassino, and Lena, Dahlia's mother, whom Slate has the hots for, very much sober when he meets her and is smitten with her and is now embroiled with both of them. In the last episode, as we recall, Slate expressed in no uncertain terms his desire for divorce with Dahlia, but she was having none of it. This week, in Sleight of Stature, Sleighter of Hand, Dahlia and Lena band together to pressure Slate into taking them both to live in the fairy ring. Can you imagine? We know how the ring feels about outsiders, let alone these two, whom he hardly knows. They've not been properly vetted. Oh, the whole thing just reeks of bad decision-making and bad consequences. Now, last week, it was suggested and portended that Milliam would brew never-clear starshine with explosive results. And indeed he does. The timing, however, could not be more injudicious, unfortuitous, and misfortunate. The explosion occurs just as he is about to carry his wife, Pearl Nanny Nettlebottom, over the threshold into their new home. That's when the entire cabin explodes. One doesn't know, is this again really the end for Nanny Nettlebottom? Has she not been through enough? I find it most disturbing. In lighter fare, we turn to Magnolia and Brooke, who, as we know, were at Monte Cassino. Magnolia agreed to assist Brooke in his attempt to divorce himself, so to speak, from the Moss Boss, the underworld character with whom he'd gotten involved when, again, intoxicated, he pledged fealty to this underworld kingpin. And the Moss Boss required of Brooke, as a show of that fealty, that Brooke go to a pair of lumber trolls and get the delinquent sums that they owed having lost on bets. So they'd taken out loans, couldn't pay them, and Brooke, little Brooke, was sent to play a collection agent. The scene is very brief, and what we are led to believe is that the plan that Brooke and Magnolia execute works. The trolls are debt-free. Brooke is no longer indebted to the Moss Boss, and they all are friends for life. This caused an uproar amongst the fan base, who immediately descended upon the studio with picket signs aplenty. I was going to mention last week's caller who discussed their response to the proposed killing of the arachnids, which did not happen, as Stock used home remedies. That caller suggested they would have to picket should any arachnids be harmed on the show. And the caller further suggested that they'd purchased picket supplies for nothing. Well, caller, your picket supplies are not for naught. You may use them if you wish to join the throngs who are protesting at the studio, claiming lazy writing as pertains to the scene wherein we see nothing of the plan that supposedly worked so well. We have no idea how the lumber trolls got out of debt, no idea how Brooke got out of his indebtedness to the Moss Boss. We know nothing, except for now there are 4 friends laughing and carrying on and toasting one another. Very lazy writing, if one asks me. Certainly, this dimension, DimQ, has had its similar situations, resulting in not picketing as far as I know, but in, what does one call it? When you sign, a petition being sent round for the show. I believe it's called The Great Betrayal, formerly known as Game of Thrones, what they did to their viewers progressively at the end of the 6th season, in the 7th season, culminating in the 8th season, which, as I understand, was not only a disaster, but disrespectful to the viewers, and one may say a cluster fail. Moving on, back to this week. Rosie Katie Diddleleaf goes scouting, and she learns that the spiders are not dead. They have only moved. Oh dear, I cannot imagine Stock being safe. One supposes Katie Diddleleaf will be furious with Stock for not having wiped the spiders off the face of the planet. Mayor Hollow, in response to the fact that Raffia is running for office, realizes he must improve his image if he is to win the race, the mayoral race. He tells Bernie Schwartz and wife that he must keep their relationship, again, Bernie Schwartz being from the Transit Authority. The mayor tells Bernie that they must keep their relationship professional, not getting together on a social basis with wives and so on, because of the fact that the mayor must focus on his race and cannot show favoritism to any governmental agency. Schwartz applauds this move and respects Mayor Hollow for it, whereas we know, Mayor Hollow dodged a bullet there. Again, Raffia and the human Dodd Hoskins do not feature in this episode. Could that again be lazy writing? One dare not speculate. Now, we move on to this week's sponsor. We are grateful for the sponsorship and support of Uncendiary Fireproof Matches. When situations turn combustible, turn to Uncendiary. They're sure to prevent you from going down in flames. Don't forget the name, Uncendiary. This week's episode certainly may have gone down in flames had it not been for the scene with Nanny and Milliam. The ratings were abysmal. However, in the final analysis, the episode did squeak out a 3 mushroom rating solely owing to the dramatic conclusion of the wedding of Nanny Nettlebottom and old Milliam. Otherwise, that nonsense with Brooke and Magnolia and the lumber trolls, that gave them the lowest rating possible. However, our opinions pale in comparison to those of the fans who've been watching the show century after century. And so we turn to you, faithful viewers. Please tell us, what did you make of episode 15918, Sleight of Stature, Sleighter of Hand?
Hi, I have a question. Both Dahlia and Lena want to go back with Slate to the ring? Wow. Are the writers asking for trouble? I mean, come on. We all know the members of the ring don't let just anyone in. It's hard enough to get the Seelie and Unseelie faeries acting civilly to one another. Man, this is going to be one heck of a season. Glad I've prepaid my Omnivision show subscription for the year. Thanks. Bye.
Agreed. The writers really, truly are asking for trouble, and they do not need more after this week's debacle. Yes, and I'm also glad to hear you have your Omnivision subscription prepaid. I do hope it ends up being worth it for you, given what's going on with the writers. Moving on to caller number 2.
Hi, Tiki here, and I say good riddance, Juniper. You're a discredit to the name. I never liked her. I always thought she was petty and small, and I don't mean small just because she's a fairy. I hope she stays off the show and never comes back. But I've learned never to say never when it comes to love among the Brambles. Just when we think Grover's Hollow is safe, someone from the past comes back and gums up the works. But at least for now, that Junebug Juniper is gone. Thanks. Bye.
I am with you, caller. I have never cared for Juniper. You said it best. She is a discredit to her name. There is one thing I think we should consider, however. Citron has historically been petty and small as well, an entitled child, blessed with attractive physiognomy, an able mind, a sharp-witted tongue. And she hasn't amounted to much. There's not much character development. I do believe that these current trials will lead to a better Citron. I think we can expect she will grow, and it's long overdue. So I'm going to give the besieged writers this little kernel of support by saying perhaps they have a long game in mind with Citron. And if not, they should get their pink slips. Moving on to caller number 3.
I'm not wasting my phone call to ask about pickle-flavored... Oh. Hi! Old Mill's brewing up Neverclear again? I love Neverclear Starshine. They used to sell it about 30 seasons ago with an LATB label. Do you think that label will come back? I sure could use a few hundred cases. It makes talking to the family a whole lot easier. Thanks. Bye.
I believe you're not alone. We have many, many fans of the show who are inveterate inebriators of Neverclear. And yes, I recall when the show did have a promotion going on that involved their own label of Neverclear Starshine, and one wonders if indeed they will begin selling it again. But after what happened this episode, it's anyone's guess. And if for whatever reason they do not end up selling it, the promotions department could be in as much hot water as the writers currently are. Well, friends, that wraps up another episode of Love Among the Brambles. And as we have seen, not all episodes are created equal. What can we look forward to next week? Better writing, one hopes. In episode 15919, Road Tripping, we can expect the following. 2 sisters have tea, and one comes up with a suggestion. That's it? That's all they offer me? That's supposed to be a compelling plot point? I think not. Moving on. Citron embarks on a career, and Rosie Katie Diddleleaf has murder on her mind. Well, perhaps those last 2 plot points teased for next episode will be enough to pull us out of the mess in which the writers have written us. Until then, my friends, keep calm, a bramble on, And let's not give up on Love Among the Brambles quite yet. I look forward to our discussion next week. Cheriste son.